Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, guys, where we're tackling something that has literally taken over the internet lately, the holy grail of passive income. We're looking at a super fascinating piece of source material today called Why I'm Selling My Passive Income Businesses. Now, if you've ever felt that massive twinge of FOMO watching influencers promise effortless wealth while you sleep, well, this is going to feel incredibly validating for you. This material completely strips away the flashy sports cars. It ignores those perfectly curated beach photos, and it gets right down to the unvarnished truth about what is actually happening behind the scenes of online wealth. It's a grounded, brutally honest look at what it really takes to build a business, and we're going to explore exactly why the author ultimately decided to just walk away from the very thing that literally everyone else is chasing. The internet lied to you about passive income. Just take a second and let that blunt quote sink in. Honestly, it's almost a relief to hear it said out loud, isn't it? I mean, we are constantly scrolling past these social media gurus lounging in luxury villas, supposedly earning thousands of dollars an hour on pure autopilot. Yeah, right. It creates this massive sense of inadequacy for anyone actually out there grinding away at a real job or a real startup. But the author calls this out as exactly what it is, a meticulously fabricated narrative. They're validating that creeping suspicion you've always had in the back of your mind. You know, that the math of doing absolutely nothing while somehow earning everything, it simply doesn't add up in the real world.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly captures the pervasive lazy money trap we are repeatedly sold. The deeply ironic truth here is that many of the individuals shouting the absolute loudest about their effortless wealth, they're actually making their money by selling you the dream of autopilot wealth. Think about it for a second. It's the ultimate digital hustle, selling a $997 course that teaches people how to build a course about making passive income. It's an incredibly clever yet completely deceptive loop. You aren't actually buying into a viable, sustainable business model. You are literally purchasing a fantasy. It's a packaged product designed specifically to target our very human desire for maximum reward with the absolute minimum effort.
So let's ground ourselves for a minute and look at the brutal, honest reality. We're constantly sold the dream, you know the one, the get-rich-quick, set-it-and-forget-it illusion where the cash just rolls in. But the actual execution, that is a completely different story. To build anything that generates substantial income, you are looking at massive upfront effort. And honestly, the hardest part is that once the wheels are actually turning, the work doesn't just stop. You are thrust into this vicious cycle of continuous, unrelenting maintenance. The source material outlines the grueling reality of what this actually looks like on the ground. We're talking sudden Google algorithm updates completely wiping out a site's traffic overnight, or crucial software integrations breaking at 2 in the morning, and constantly evolving customer demands that need your immediate attention. This massive gap between the illusion of passive income and the grueling execution of it, that's exactly where the vast majority of us aspiring entrepreneurs just hit a brick wall and experience total burnout.
Because of all that, we really need to completely rewrite this term in our heads based on how it actually functions. Here is the reality of passive income. It's a business model requiring massive upfront effort and continuous hidden maintenance. Notice that word hidden? That is absolutely key here. The maintenance isn't gone. It is just happening entirely out of sight. I mean, the gurus aren't pulling out their phones and filming themselves waking up to 50 angry customer support emails, right? Or showing you the sheer panic of late-night server crashes, or the tedious daily tweaking of advertising funnels just to stay marginally profitable. What they call passive income is actually highly leveraged, highly structured active wealth. It's happening, and man, it is exhausting. It's just happening off camera where you can't see it. Let's move to and see how this builds. Understanding this life cycle is totally like peeling back the layers of a giant onion. Step 1 is always that massive upfront effort to build the foundation. You know, pouring your time, your energy, and your capital into creating the product and actually finding an audience. Then, just when you think, okay, I can finally step back and relax, bam, you hit step 2, the constant maintenance trap. You suddenly become a manager of total chaos. The business requires your constant vigilance and intervention just to sustain its current level, let alone actually grow. Which naturally leads us to the ultimate irony in step 3. The creator doesn't achieve true financial and personal freedom by letting the business run on autopilot. No way. They achieve freedom by completely liquidating the whole shebang. They sell the business just to escape the crushing exhaustion of having to maintain the illusion. So the crucial point is, the author ultimately arrived at this brutal yet completely liberating realization. Today, I'm being brutally honest about what it really takes to build income that lasts. Their decision to sell these businesses wasn't a failure at all. Actually, scratch that. It was a massive success. It was a total rejection of that exhausting set-it-and-forget-it cycle. They realized that spending all their energy maintaining the facade of passive income was actually a massive distraction from building something truly durable and meaningful. You literally cannot build a lasting fortress on a foundation of quicksand. Walking away was the only way to pivot toward building something that could genuinely stand the test of time without requiring them to put out hidden fires every single day. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the author's honest advice. Stripping away all those internet fantasies leaves us with an incredibly solid blueprint for real wealth. First, we have to actively reject the autopilot lies. When you hear someone promising effortless income, recognize it immediately as marketing, not reality. Second, avoid get-rich-quick schemes entirely. They're designed to extract wealth from you rather than build it for you. Third, mentally and physically accept the massive upfront effort required. You just gotta embrace the grind, knowing that absolutely nothing of real value is created without it. And finally, focus your energy on models that produce true, lasting income. According to our source material today, this means building genuine value, actually serving real customers, and setting up robust, honest systems that don't rely on cheap tricks or fleeting algorithm hacks. All of this leaves us with one incredibly critical question to ask ourselves. I want you to look at your current projects, your long-term goals, and those side hustles with absolute brutal honesty. Are you actually building lasting wealth, or are you just buying into another internet dream? Are you really putting in the unglamorous, super difficult upfront effort required to build something real, or are you secretly hoping for a shortcut that simply doesn't exist? The undeniable truth about true wealth is that it isn't passive, and it certainly isn't lazy. It demands your absolute best. So let's leave the autopilot illusions behind. Let's embrace the reality of the work and go build something that actually lasts. What's your next move going to be?